If I were a stationery brand starting wholesale outreach from scratch, here is what I would do. And now this is assuming you have all of your product and things and SKUs in order and developed to a T. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be ready. Let's jump right in. What up, y'all? Of course, you know I could not bring you into the video without saying that. Be sure to subscribe to follow along on my 31-day journey so you don't miss a thing. Y'all like my hat? Ain't she cute? She says, Connected Souls, Collective Goals. I got this from Black Paper Party. I also got one of their tote bags too, somewhere around here. But yeah, anyway, step 1 of my villain origin story of becoming a retail mogul. Make a list. This is top priority number 1. Uno. Start here. Always make a list. Without a written plan, like, what are you even doing? So to start out, you'll want to make a list of all of the retail shops, stores, airports, bookstores, gift shops, anything that you want to exist inside of. That sounds so dirty, but you know what I mean. Make a list of your top 100 shops that you know your product will thrive in. This list should always start locally because people love to support a local brand and local talent. And then expand to national shops. Think about where you think you would fit in, and you might be a little less known, but not for long. And then write down everything. Their shop name, their website, their full address, like where they're located, their social media handles, the names of the owners or founders, find out the names of the buyers if that's available, and then all of their contact info and email addresses. Make that list. Do it as a spreadsheet because you're going to want to have access to all of their things. You want a column of 100 shops and you want a row of all of that information at the top so that you can follow it to a T. And I want you to add to that list the date that you added them and also put a date that you first contacted them, and we'll get to that later. But I want you to add those columns. Yes, add those columns as well. I always get columns and rows mixed up sometimes, but we're here. Okay, step 2. Do your research. I mean, get into it. Take a magnifying glass and a trench coat and put on your best detective hat because we are going to find out everything we can about these shops. Find out who the owners are, the buyers, and find out who their customer is. Do they align with your mission and values? Do they purchase wholesale directly from you, or do they use a platform such as Faire? Or are they the type of shop where you have to rent a space and they take a commission of the sales? So you're not only paying rent every month, but they're also taking a percentage of the sales that you make. What kind of inventory do they accept, look for, and find out if you'd be a good fit? If the shop is local, this is like a bonus point, but if the shop is local, go into that store, okay? Be a customer, look around, see what they have, see if there's anything similar to what you do, or see what's missing from their shelves that you know you can provide. Check out their inventory. Do a deep dive, honey. Stalk them if you have to. And then go and check out their socials. Are they active on social? Do they showcase the brands that they have in their shop, or do they only focus on their own products? Find out when they were founded. Do they have any milestones coming up? Things that you can leverage to later on use when you start your outreach. These things are important to know because you don't want to waste your time or their time if it doesn't align. Will this research narrow down your list of 100? Possibly, But because you're starting with 100, you're not starting bad off. Okay, and then step 3, we're going to start reaching out because you made that list, you did your research, you put all of that research into your list. Yes? Okay, so now we get to the reaching out part, the outreach. Check to see if they have a wholesale page. Most shops have like a separate wholesale page for retailer, or not retailers, but for brands like us who are looking to get into retail. Most shops have like a page where they have maybe a form, or they have what they accept and don't accept, and any other frequently asked questions that you might have. And then sometimes they just have a contact page where you can email them directly. Now this part is important. When emailing them directly, use your business domain email address. So hello@blah.com, or your first name at blah.com, but use your direct domain email address. If you have Gmail or if you have Outlook, whatever the case, use that email to email them directly. Don't use something like a subscription email where you're sending out newsletters, because that's not personal. That is, everybody gets those, right? Like pish posh. Everyone gets those. We don't want those. We want to be able to email them directly, but also add a caveat at the end. If you don't want to receive these emails, then I will stop. Just reply to this email, let me know, and I will remove you from the list. But there's not a subscription list that they can just go and unsubscribe to. They have to directly email you to let you know to stop emailing them. Anyway, the point is to email them directly and not to use a subscription list like MailerLite or Kit or MailChimp, because it's more personal, coming directly from you. This was advice that was given to me from one of my sales advisors, and so I've used it. It's worked. Do with that what you will. The subscription emails from one of your services can come later in the game when you already have existing clients and maybe you want to send out specials or certain incentives to those existing clients. Okay, if these shops have a form to fill out on that wholesale page, fill it out and take note of their response time. Some will have a disclaimer at the end of the form saying that they will reach out if they think that it is a good fit, and they won't reach out if they don't think that it's a good fit. This is important to note. Some will say, we'll get back to you within a month. We review these every single month and we'll get back to you within a month. Make a note of that. Make a note of when you've reached out, because you made that list in that column to say the date of outreach. This part can obviously be annoying because you want a response right away, right? You know that you have a product that they need and you want them to know it and you want them to believe it and respond and say yes immediately. But patience is key, my friend. We're in this for the long haul. This is all a part of the process. And if you've made your list, you've written down your date of contact, then you know when you can reach out again. And that leads to step 4, because we have to follow up. 7 touches is what it takes to make a sale. Also learned this from my sales advisor. Sometimes it happens sooner, but a lot of the times you have to put in the effort to get the reward. So be prepared to reach out at least 7 times to get a response, whether it is a yes or a no. We're playing the long game here, guys, okay? So take it with a grain of salt and don't take it personally. If you're local, your follow-up can be in person. You can kick it old school, go to the store or shop that you reached out to, bring with you some kind of leave behind. I have wholesale cards that I use to put it here in my face so I can read it. I have wholesale cards that I use, and this is my leave behind. So it showcases my products, it has my business name, and it has my contact info directly on the back. This is a great way to be able to leave something if someone that you were hoping to reach out to and connect with isn't available. So when you go into these stores and you have your leave behind or even samples, you can ask a sales associate to say, hey, is the buyer available or is the owner available, depending on how it works in that specific store. If they're not available, give them the sample to be able to say, hey, can you please pass this along to them? I'm so-and-so, I own this brand, and I would love to speak with them about getting my products on their shelves. Simple as that. And also make a note of this too, because you want to remember the date that you came and reached out so that you can follow up. We say 7 touches because your follow-up game has to be strong. Everyone is getting hundreds of emails a day, whether it's subscriptions, spam emails, logistical things. Like, these businesses are receiving tons of emails. Other brands are probably reaching out to them wanting to get on their shelves too. You always want to be top of mind. So if you send an email on a Monday, send another email on a Tuesday. Have them scheduled. Gmail, you can schedule send emails. So maybe make up a template of about 7 or 8 different emails that all go back to how to contact you and talk about your business, talk about your brand, talk about your products, and send those emails once a week or bi-weekly, whatever you think the appropriate frequency is. But it's so important for you to always be top of mind because they're inundated with emails. And if your name keeps repeatedly showing up, they might say, hey, who is this person? Like, let me click on them. And then boom, you got a sale. Don't think of it as being annoying. You are running a business and you are trying to grow and scale just like everybody else. You get texts, you get emails from all of these different brands and businesses selling you their product daily, okay? That's what you gotta do. You gotta get scrappy and you gotta start sending the emails, the repeated emails, but not the same content. Switch it up. All right, that is 4 steps in becoming a retail mogul, okay? We are building our villain origin story of being retail moguls, and we're gonna get there, friend. I just know it. Now that we've established how we're gonna get into retail and the steps that we're going to take to do it, what's next? You have to start. Promise me that you will start making those lists right now, okay? Do it right now. Open up Excel, open up Google Sheets, and make that list of 100 shops that you know your product will thrive in. And be just as prepared for the yeses and the nos, okay? I want the best for you during this business journey, and I know you can do it. If you're already in retail, share with us your secrets. What are some of the tips and tricks that you used to land your first client? Were any of the points and steps that I made in today's video something that you did that got you where you are today? And if not, what would you do differently? If you're on this journey with me, starting from fresh, from scratch, let me know if this video was helpful, if you're going to implement any of the steps, and if you've already started implementing the steps, let me know what step you're on and if it's working. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for watching this video and rocking out with me during my 31-day challenge of posting a video every single day in August. We are almost there, guys. Almost there. That's a song, right? Tiana, Princess Tiana? I don't know the tunes, I'm not even gonna try. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thumbs this video up and leave those comments letting me know what steps you're taking, if you've done this already, what tips and tricks do you have, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.